So I'm in the Crown Court last week to be with a friend of ours. In fact, I was in court all week last week, 3 days in Nottingham and 2 days in Derby. On the Wednesday when I was in Nottingham Crown Court, Tom was outside because he's waiting to give evidence. I was in the courtroom jotting down notes, and two barristers sat next to Tom, and they were talking about a case that's going off in a court just over the way. Now, barristers are hard and can be nasty. These two barristers were basically asking what is going on this planet. They couldn't believe what was happening in Court 4. What was going on in Court 4? Well, Nottingham scum-sucking council were taking a bloke to court and trying to get him sent down for 2 years. The story, rather interesting, but bearing in mind that the two barristers were asking what is going on. This man suffers with PTSD, other problems as well. Just over a year or so ago, might have been longer than that, when the bedroom tax came in, he couldn't afford it, but he paid it anyway, which meant he was short with his rent. So the council simply said, well, we'll evict you then. So the bloke, realising he's going to be kicked out, takes the keys to the council, hands them over, gives the flat, whatever it was, back. And Nottingham Scum Council just leave it for about a year. Then they go to the property, and obviously no one living in it for a while. This could do with some work doing it. So they decide he's responsible for it, even though he's given the keys back, and for the last year has been living in a tent in wherever trees or forest he can find. This bloke is living in a tent. He's got problems, and the council are still trying to screw him over. They're doing him for letting the place fall into disrepair, even though they had the keys. He'd given it up. They're trying to send him to prison for 2 years, even though he's homeless. He's living on the streets in a tent. He's been in there for a year, living in a tent. And this scum-sucking council, who are nothing but filling their own pockets, are now trying to send him to prison, even though he's been living in a tent for a year. This is the sort of criminals we've got in charge of Nottingham City Council. Don't get me wrong, the majority of the people that work for the council are probably very good. Those at the top and the executive branch are pure criminal scum. Now, we've seen the people down London take council houses over because of they set the place on fire. The council's fault that place burnt, that tower burnt down. And we need to do it all over the country. Councils are not fit for purpose. Just look at the roads. Holes all over the place, never repaired. But we've got 87 million, 83 million, whatever it was, to spend on new lighting. But we can't make the roads rideable, drivable. But we pay them for that. And they're supposed to be our servants, not the other way around. They're supposed to be our servants. And they're acting, well, Nottingham City Council is at any rate, acting like a dictatorship. And the people, I suspect, are about had enough of the councils. We need to start taking the council houses back. We need to start locking up those at the top of the councils, because they are nothing more than absolute criminals, paying themselves over 12 grand a month, and then of course they claim all the expenses they can. The leader of City Council and the CEO both went to China last year or the year before, and they took their daughter with them as a PA, all paid for of course by us. This is just one or two examples of the council's incompetence and criminality. They're going to keep doing it as long as we let them. till we start taking these council houses back and demanding they go to prison or face criminal charges for their actions. It's going to continue. Locking a bloke up for 2 years that's living on the streets in a tent wherever he can. This is the sort of criminal scum we've got in the Nottingham City Council. They're a disgrace.